Alright, guys. Cooking is a type of alchemy. Let me explain. Cooking is a type of alchemy. When you cook, you are conjuring energy through the mixture, the chemistry of your cooking and your food items, your recipes, all of it. It is a type of alchemy because there is an energy in your cooking. All the things you mix together, you combine, the mixtures, the combinations of food you make with the food you're cooking, and the food that's in relation to that food, that's classified by it maybe, not necessarily in that strict order. It counts as alchemy because alchemy is about the assembly of items and variables that make mysterious things happen in life. I'm botching the heck out of how I'm explaining that, but think about it. What do you see in alchemy and tarot and astrology that could classify as cooking the ingredients of variables in the universe that are mysterious? That's in your cooking. There is a very sharp, blunt reality that most people had an easy life because they chose it. But there's an even sharper, dark side of that, which is that most people had an easy life because they didn't have a choice. I mentioned in the last video that being a content creator is harder than working a 9 to 5. And in the description for that video, I described how Benjamin Franklin was right that challenges make the man. Basically, if you have a hard life, be grateful because it means that you're going to have rewards that not even you do on purpose. Because if you choose to have a hard life, it's hard to do that to begin with, and it's also hard because it's hard to pursue. It's messed up, right? It's hard to pursue a hard life. It's hard to pursue a hard life, and it's hard to deal with a hard life. But if you have it automatically, you get things that you reap rewards from them. And that's what I mean when men have to do better things with their lives other than working hard, because they have to make things easier to simplify them. But sometimes the easy things aren't also rewarding. So when the easy thing is rewarding, pay attention. You're worth doing that thing. Could you imagine that being a content creator is likely one of the hardest career paths you could take as a person? Are you kidding me? It humbles you when you look at your actual 9 to 5. You look at it and you're like, wait a minute, that's not easy? Well, it's not as hard as it could be. Like, it's still hard, but it's not as hard as content creation. And you look back at content creation and you're like, wait a minute, so that's harder than a job. And then a job is easier than content creation. What's harder than content creation? Life itself? And then you look back at your content creation and you're like, wait a minute. I had this so back-assward, bro. I went into and I personally did this too. This is just figment, but I went into content creation thinking that it'd be easier than a job, but not only is it harder than a job, it's not easy enough to suffice why it would be easier in the marketplace. If you wanted to have a content creation job because you thought it would make it easier to get in the marketplace, and you found out the job was easier to do that, you worked hard for the right reasons. Good job. Scorpio is not just about sex and sacrifice. It's not just about power. It's not just about crashing waves, being domineering and controlling in a way to make sure that you know what you're doing with control. Scorpio is misunderstood for a lot of things in that regard. It makes it look like Scorpio can only be deceiving if it's doing something right, which is a huge back turn on what you would think of Scorpio either way. No. You see, what Scorpio is doing is that it's trying to negotiate why it pays the price. Not every reward comes from hard work, but not all easy things are bad. So when the sacrifice is paid the right way, you learn from the sex you have, and the relationships you pursue, and the work you make for yourself to live. Scorpio isn't just about sacrifice being pointless or rewards being given to the wrong people. It's about people who work hard regardless of whether the reward pays off for any other reason. You have to love what you do, or what you love won't come with you. Self-sabotage is the antithesis to gratitude. When someone hurts themselves, they know what they have to lose. When you're in a negative state of mind in your life and you know it's less than the norm, you would realize how to be grateful for the norm in the meantime. When someone says their intelligence is because they care about having a better life, they're giving you nonsense. No one wants to be intelligent or have a better life when they're from the norm, because the norm is difficult as it is just to be there compared to being in a suffering state of mind. But when you have a good life, you don't realize what it is without suffering to get you there. So you wouldn't want to struggle through the pain to get to that point from a normal or painful life. The antithesis, therefore, to gratitude, is not just suffering. It's not just being dumb. It's not just being in a state of pain and distaste. You do not have a good life because you're dumb. You have a good life because you know better from the norm.
Throughout your life, you're going to want to look for what's called a happy default. A happy default is a condition or a circumstance or a routine you have in your life that makes you happy by default. For example, if you have a job that you like by default and makes you happy by default, even if you have a bad or rough day, it'll still bring you back to the memory that maybe it's worth working for and striving for that endearment of your job. If you have a girlfriend who makes you happy by default, then even if she pisses you off in the meantime sometimes, you know that working to maintain the relationship is going to be worth it, and not even in a shallow or toxic way. Happy defaults make it so that you know how to maintain things that are worth it in your life, and have joy and gratitude and perseverance in the moments that are rough, or not as telling the right way, but at least they will seem that they're right, and they will be if you work hard for them. Not everything in life is going to be doom and gloom, and everything in life is going to be happy, happy, go merry. What matters is what makes you happy by default.
Pisces often has a methodology that works like this. They have a rabbit in the hat kind of methodology, where they pull out of their butt what they're able to cleverly do, or say, or think, or feel. Many people, especially logical thinkers, probably, I keep slamming really hard the earth and air signs, but yeah, they're always like, you either know it or you don't. You either do it or you don't. You either feel or think it or you don't. And Pisceans are looking at it like, but I have to find out eventually. And then the air signs and earth signs are looking at them like, but you wouldn't know if you didn't. And if you knew, you would just know. And Pisces is back in there says, but I have to find out for myself if I know. If I don't know, I'll find out. If I don't know, I'll know if I find out. But I have to eventually try to find out. And trying is a big thing with Pisces too. Trying instead of hiding. Because if you're not trying, you're hiding. And doing not as well try doesn't work with Pisces. They actually always try to be in the world. That's how they try. Zodiac signs that don't find out that they're into astrology or don't even believe in astrology. My best guess right off the bat would be like fire and air sign, because they overthink logic and they'd be quick to start to not waste their time with astrology and tarot and spirituality. That being said, I think every sign has a chance to, and this is just a bit of a facetious guess. I don't want to be weird about it or even misjudging. But I think every zodiac sign has a chance to find out, every zodiac placement, every birth chart, every individual has a chance to find out about astrology and tarot and move their spirituality in ways that don't have to be about always spirituality. That alone does not guarantee that they're going to believe in spirituality or even disprove it the right way, or even act like they can never be spiritual. But people who have fire and air sign placements usually don't have to overthink their logic the way I'm saying they would, or pretty quickly start to not waste their time, like a fire sign. But that's just my guess though. I hope fire signs and air signs find astrology though.